Today, I'm going to show you how to build a meeting prep agent using the Inkeep visual builder. You can ask this agent, can you help me prep for an upcoming company meeting? And it will analyze your calendar meeting, conduct web research about the company, and put together a clean prep summary you can use before the call. You're going to learn how to create sub-agents, MCP servers, and connect your agents with tools like Google Calendar to get real work done, all without writing any code. Jumping right in the Agents tab, we can create a new agent called Meeting Prep Agent. We can give it a description. And then once we've given our agent a name and a description, we can actually configure the default sub-agent. And we can call this one the Meeting Prep Coordinator. It's going to be orchestrating all of the sub-agents. And we can give this one a description as well. And lastly, we can also give it a prompt. All of this information is in the guide on our doc site. Link will be in the description. And then once we've configured our default sub-agent, we can actually hit save. Next, we can find our meeting finder and company research sub-agents. It's as easy as just dragging and dropping the sub-agent node here and then giving it a name. I'll go back to my trusty notepad to find the description and the name, which is meeting finder, the description, finding meetings, and the prompt as well, which will basically just instruct it to use the Google tool, the Google Calendar tool that we'll create to find the meeting. We'll want to connect the meeting finder sub-agent to the prep coordinator. And important note here is actually to use a delegation relationship. We can actually move on to our company research sub-agent. And here we can again give it a name, company researcher, and a description, as well as a prompt. And then like we did before, connect it to the supervisor agent. And we're going to be making this a delegation relationship, not a transfer relationship, and hit save changes. At this point, our agent has all the logic it needs, but it doesn't yet have the tools to actually call Google Calendar or Exa, which conducts the web research. So let's go ahead and add our MCP servers. And you can think of MCP servers as basically tools that your agents can use to take actions against third-party services and APIs. So starting with the Google Calendar MCP server, we're going to go over to Zapier MCP. And if you haven't already created an account, just go to Zapier MCP and create one. Link will be in the description. And what you're going to see is a page similar to this one. And you're actually going to click Create New MCP Server, and you're going to select Other as the client. And then you'll give it an appropriate name like Google Calendar MCP, and create the MCP server. And then you're going to do Add Tool, go to Google Calendar. And then this is important. You're going to select the Find Events tool, which will query your calendar events against a query that you enter in. And in this case, it would be the name of the company. Now, for me, because I've already authorized Google Calendar, it didn't take me through the OAuth flow. But for you, since it's your first time, you might have to go through their OAuth flow. But once you've configured your Google Calendar tool, you can actually connect with this MCP server by just copying the server URL. And going back to the Inkeep visual builder, we can go to the MCP server's dashboard and create our MCP server here. Just register the MCP server as a tool. And we're going to go over to custom server, but we have a lot of pre-built servers that you can just connect to out of the box, and it's really easy. But in this case, we're going to create a custom server as we have our own URL, and we're going to name this Google Calendar. And this doesn't have any authentication associated with it, and we'll click Create. The neat thing about the Inkeep Visual Builder is that you can define your MCP servers once and then reuse them across all of your agents. You can click into Google Calendar and see all the tools that your agent has access to. You can even click in and see the parameters of each of your tools. So we have our Google Calendar MCP tool defined. And now we can actually define our Exa company research tool. And this will basically be conducting web research for us. The URL here is mcp.exa.ai/mcp. This is a public MCP server that Exa offers. So just like before, no authentication, and we can click Create. And here we can see there's a web search Exa tool, and there's also a tool for coding. So we'll only need the web search Exa tool, more on this later. Going back to our meeting prep agent, we can connect the MCP tools that we just registered. And in this case, the company researcher will need the Exa tool. And we can actually deselect the get code context Exa tool. All it needs is the web search tool. And then we can also drag and drop the MCP node here and select the Google Calendar MCP tool. And in this case, we don't need add tools or edit tools. We just need the find event tool, and we'll connect it to our meeting finder. And finally, we can click on save changes. And to test our agent, we just need one upcoming meeting on our Google Calendar with a company. Now, in this case, I created a meeting with Microsoft, and so I can type in, can you help me prep for my upcoming Microsoft meeting? And then we'll hit enter. You'll notice there is some animation. The meeting prep coordinator subagent is outlined here. It's giving us real-time updates, and we can see under the hood the data operations. As we can see, it's delegating to the meeting finder agent, and it's invoking the Google Calendar Find Events tool. And through the animations, we could see that it's done invoking that. Next, we can see it's fetched the meeting. It has all the details. And now it's actually researching Microsoft, delegating to the company researcher using the EXA web research tool. As we could see, the tool has been completed. And finally, it's streaming back a response. You could see that it's put together a meeting prep summary. I can really show off my knowledge of Microsoft and be prepared. The last thing is it's really easy to debug your agents. All you have to do is click debug here, and you can see a timeline of the steps that your agent went through. You can click into the tool calls. You can see the arguments that were passed to the MCP server. And all of this is also viewable in the Traces tab to the left, where you can go into even more granular detail and see statistics. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about agents, feel free to join our Slack community where you can talk directly to the team. A link will be in the description.